What's up, everybody? It's Dingers time. That's right, we are back. Dingers with the boys. That's boys with a Z. I'm Tim. I'm here with the sickie, Kyle.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, you guys can tell I'm getting over a cold. I was trying to hoot and holler, just nothing was coming out. But yeah.
I kind of had it last week, and you got it this week.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Tim.
Yeah.
Getting me sick, but hey, I'm powering through. Hopefully, by next episode, I'll be good. But hey, we got an exciting episode this week. Got a lot to talk about. Last episode, we talked about all the coaches firing and moving on to different teams. But if you haven't checked out that, then definitely go check it out. We also got a fun fact. Tim went solo, giving us a fun fact about Bill Russell.
11 championships, 13 years. Check that short out for sure.
But yeah, let's just get straight into this episode. Tim, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, we had quite a bit of stuff happen just around sports in general, kind of like last week as well. But first of all, we were kind of talking about coaches last week. We got Mike McCarthy this week. A lot of people thought he was going to get fired from Dallas. I know, watching the game, I was like, well, he's getting fired, you know. They lost their postseason game against Green Bay 48-32. By the way, me and Kyle were way wrong on that.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a classic Cowboys move, though. They do so well in the regular season and then just do so bad in the playoffs. And with McCarthy, I'm kind of on the fence because on one hand, he's so good in the regular season. He's had 3 straight years where he's had 12+ wins, which that's really good for a head coach.
Sure.
Like, not a lot of head coaches in the league can do that. And then, but come playoffs, you look so bad and you look like an entirely different team, and then you lose. So I was kind of on the fence with whether he's going to get fired, whether Dallas should move on from him. I could kind of see it just with the level of talent of coaches that are available right now with Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick. I know, like, a running rumor was Bill Belichick was going to go to Dallas, but I do understand why Dallas is going to stick with McCarthy for his final year because, like I said, there's really not that many other coaches on the market that would be a step up from McCarthy just because he is
he is a great coach, you know. I mean, he definitely gets wins. I think the year before he went there, the Cowboys only won like 4 games.
Yeah, they were
or something like that.
They were not great.
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure,
but I know his first year he won 6 games. But then 12 games since, and they're playing great football. Their defense is great.
And I think it was also like really important. Jerry Jones came out and said that, hey, we lost that game because of a lot more than Mike McCarthy.
Exactly. Well, and Jerry Jones did come out today and said that he will not be giving him a new contract extension right now. But he's been known to do that in the past. He did that with Garrett twice, I believe, in 2014 and in 2019, I believe. And he ended up getting a contract after the 2014. But it's crazy to me. So everybody's all about Mike McCarthy and, man, he should get fired and everything. However, Mike Tomlin for the Steelers, it's the opposite. They're like, man, he's such a great coach and all this. I looked this up, okay? Since Mike McCarthy has been the Dallas Cowboys head coach, his record's 42-25 in the regular season. 1-3 in playoffs, but 42-25 in the regular season. What do you think Mike Tomlin's is? Since the same amount of years.
Probably worse.
It's 40. Sorry, it's 40-26-1. So technically, Mike McCarthy actually has a couple wins. He's 0-3 in the playoffs since then. And all time, they're actually very close. McCarthy's 167-102-2 all time, and Tomlin is 173-102 in all time. And then they both don't have great playoff records. McCarthy's 11-11, Tomlin's 8-10, both one Super Bowl win. But it's crazy to me because they're looking at, like, everybody's like, Tomlin's just this great coach, and you can't let him go or anything like that. And then you see Mike McCarthy, and they're like, oh, no, fire him. Like, he doesn't deserve it. And it's weird.
I think it's just because the two differences of the teams. You have Cowboys winning 11, 12-plus games, and then you have Pittsburgh barely squeaking in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, you'd probably not even come close to the playoffs if Tomlin wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sure, like, maybe I'm wrong, but...
I think if McCarthy was at Pittsburgh and Tomlin was at Dallas, I think it would be the same narrative. I think it's because the Cowboys are in the spotlight so much. They call themselves America's team and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But let's move on to this next. Another coach, actually, Tara VanDerVeer. She is the Stanford women's basketball coach. She just tied Coach K for the most college wins ever by a coach, 1,202 wins. And she's in her 38th season at Stanford, 3 national titles, 26 conference regular season titles. She has a chance to take the record, be first overall, and wins tomorrow. They play Oregon State. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, we were literally just talking about Coach K last week.
Mm-hmm. So, and he's the GOAT and everything, and it's crazy to me because he'll be the highest in men's for a while, but like college as a whole, he's actually probably going to get passed by Gino over at UConn for the women's this year too. He's at 1,195 wins.
Yeah,
but it's just crazy. It's awesome to see these like coaches, and it's definitely coming to like down where we're going to be losing a lot of these coaches, and a new set of coaches are going to be because. She's 70 years old. I'm sure she's not going to be wanting to play or coach that much longer.
And it is kind of sad, too. You don't really see that much coverage on like her as well, just because it's women's and not men's. Like,
I bet you a lot of people don't even know who she is, honestly.
Women's basketball has taken a huge step forward with WNBA and college basketball, but still there is a level gap between the two, and it just kind of makes you sad as like a basketball fan and sports fans, but it is like an amazing achievement. Like, whether women's, men's, no matter what, it's super awesome. So definitely proud to be expressing that on today's episode.
Like you said, the women, it's definitely taken a step forward, and hopefully it continues that way. But and then there's been some trades in the NBA.
Yep, finally.
It's starting to kind of getting these dominoes going. OG got traded a few weeks ago, and now Toronto is doing another trade. They did Siakam. He's going to he just went to the Pacers, and I think this makes the Pacers very scary. Actually, I think they almost got like a big three with him and Halliburton and Turner. I think Turner and Siakam can play great together. I think he's like that running center that can really improve Siakam's game. And then Halliburton, great passer, great shooter, great leader, everything.
I don't know. I guess I'll just have to see it because I don't think Siakam is really that great. Like, he's he's good, but I don't think he's a superstar. He's an all-star, but I mean, he's averaging he'll add 20 points a game, but I don't really think he adds that much to Indiana to really make that much of a difference.
But they didn't lose anybody huge. I mean, they lost Bruce Brown, which I mean, I love Bruce Brown. He was with the Nuggets, but I would take Siakam over Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I would take Siakam.
And so I think it adds up there. I think it's crazy that they gave 3 first-round drafts.
Yeah.
Draft picks to him because I don't think he's worth that much.
I don't think so either. But this move definitely shows that Indiana wants to win. They want to compete. I mean, you kind of saw that in the in-season tournament that hey, they're not a pushover team. They can win. I'll have to see and watch some games and study up on them because my first thoughts on the trade is, maybe on paper it looks better, looks good, but I just don't know if it's really that much of a improvement to get over teams like Boston and Milwaukee.
I still don't think they're a top 3 team in the East.
Yeah.
I think they're closer. I think they're definitely fourth and close to those. But, yeah, Milwaukee and Boston. I mean, Nuggets beat Boston last night, which was awesome, and Philly and stuff. But I'm excited to see. I think they gave up a little too much for him.
I still think, too, it's like the key to winning championships, the key to winning NBA games is not offense. It always comes down to defense. Can you make stops? Like, teams that just rely on, oh, we're just going to be better offensively, you're basically just hoping the other team has a bad shooting night, which I just don't think that's a very reliable game plan and keys to winning. So, and that's where, like, trading away Bruce Brown, he's a lockdown defender. Mm-hmm. So, and Pascal Siakam, like,
there's word that
he
Brown
does
might get traded again, too.
He does have a lot of, like, size, which helps Indiana because they are very small, especially when Miles Turner is off the field or court. But yeah, I just don't think, like, they still just don't have the defense and, like, defensive.
I could see them still like trying to add some stuff. I think this trade deadline is going to be fun. I just thought of something as we started talking about this because like I said, I thought that they gave a little too much, especially in the draft capital. Say the Nuggets for some reason wanted to trade Jokic. What do you think they could get for him? Man, realistically, like 5 first rounds, 10 first rounds, 2, 3 all-star players. Like, what do you think they could get for Jokic?
I think it would probably have to be like at least multiple all-star caliber player, like 5, 6, 7-time all-star. Maybe like, and if you're getting a caliber player like that, maybe then additionally like
then another 2 or 3 first. Yeah,
like, you just keep on seeing like trades. And the trade market of these players just go up and up and up and up. Mm-hmm. But it's like you'll never ever see like a trade like Jokic going down. Yeah. But yeah, it's like you imagine that a player like Siakam just got 3 firsts.
Yeah,
it's like all right,
and he's good, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's a top 10 player in the league.
No,
it'd be interesting to see what the last one that I could think of was Allen Iverson coming to Denver.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I totally forget what we gave.
Yeah, I can't remember, but
I think a lot of players.
I don't think it ended up being that crazy, but I don't know. It's interesting. Going into like, I know we want to talk about the All-Star games. Do you think Siakam can be an All-Star on Indiana? I know it's kind of at the end of the voting and everything, but do you think they have a couple All-Stars? Because I'm sure Halliburton.
I think Halliburton is going to be the clear All-Star, and he should be because he's an amazing player. But I think this move actually hurts Siakam's All-Star chances just because I feel like the reason why he was an All-Star before
is because
he was the guy in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like Scotty Barnes wasn't there yet, or at least like wasn't producing at the level that he was, and OG wasn't quite there yet either, so I think Siakam, it was just because, hey, he's getting 25, 30 field goal attempts every single game because, I mean, who else is going to get it? So, but, like, with that being said, Halliburton is the type of player where he doesn't shoot a lot himself either. He's more about, like, moving the offense, and so I could see Siakam, like, becoming an all-star, but he's got to elevate his game.
Yeah, I don't think this year he will be for sure. But, I think it's just too late, but I don't know. What do you, like, for me, the all-star games are almost just, I don't know, they're not even necessarily fun anymore. Yeah. There's some certain parts. Me and Kyle went to the NHL all-star game last year.
Honestly, I was falling asleep.
Dude, like, when we were going, I was so stoked.
Yeah,
especially for the
like skills.
Skills. And that's the part where it was like, man, this is kind of boring. We actually ended up leaving a little early.
Yeah.
And partly it was because of the people that we were with. Because me and you probably would have
we would have stayed.
But it's different watching it there, at least that one was, than watching it on like TV. Because on TV, you're getting interviews with different players and like different stats. And even then, it's just like, all right, Nathan McKinnon's one of the fastest guys. He wasn't in the speed challenge.
Yeah.
It was Cale Makar, which I'm not saying he's not fast, but you want the fastest people like with the puck and stuff.
Exactly.
And it's like it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know. Out of all four, I would say I don't even know. Like the home run derby is probably my favorite competition because even the slam dunk contest that used to be my favorite slam dunk contest in the NBA.
Now it's just like you get people that it feels like they don't even want to be there.
Yeah,
it's like you're having to go down the list of.
Well, they had a G League player this last year, and I'm not saying they're going to do
have them again this year. So it's like,
and it's not these top players that are doing these anymore. And any of the skills, honestly, the 3-point contest, okay, you're getting that, and in the home run derby, you're getting some of those top players and stuff. But it just like drives me crazy. Like NFL is like a 2-hand touch or flag football now. It's like, why are you even having this? And
exactly.
None of those
it's like
guys
every
really
single
care.
sport too. Like you have your first, like you have your all-stars, but then those guys turn it down. So then you got to go to the next person and be like, hey, do you want to come to the all-star game? Because who we really wanted turned it down because he doesn't want to come anymore. And then that person turns it down because it's like, I think like NFL is really the only one that, all right, it's after the season. There's no like real injury provocations or there still is, but it's not like.
Well, it's weird too because it's the week before the Super Bowl, so none of those players are going to play in it.
Exactly, and those are probably the players that deserve to be there the most.
Yeah. What do you like about the All-Star games? Like,
I don't know.
Is there anything that like? I like that they switch cities, but is there anything that it's like, man, like this is really cool. I wish they could implement something like that more.
I still will say, like, I do like some of the skill competitions. I do like that NBA has moved to, like, the quarters and you have to get to, like, the target score. I do like that. But yeah,
I actually do like that as well.
I
and
think
especially in the
it
fourth, it makes it more like competitive, it seems like.
But yeah, I don't really care for the captains picking their teams.
Like, I actually like that. I think that's kind of fun. And not even necessarily them picking, but when you see the East-West, I don't know, like, I know they don't play on the same team, but some of them do play on the same teams already. But, for example, like, this year, it's going to go back to the East-West instead of, like, picking. I kind of want to see, like, Giannis play with Jokic.
Yeah, well, I will say, like, it was really funny watching Giannis pick because he has, like, his big board or, like, paper. And then he still was messing up, like, hey, Giannis, that guy already got picked, like, 4 picks ago.
LeBron picked him with his second pick.
Yeah, he's like, let me get this guy instead. So I did like that. That was pretty funny, but
I like the celebrity games in all 4.
Yeah,
we're talking about the 4 major All-Star games, by the way. I know there's a lot of other All-Star games, but we're talking about the NBA, NHL, NFL, and MLB. And I do like that, though, the celebrity games. It's just kind of, like, fun. And, like I said, on I don't know if it would be great there, but on TV, they're mic'd up, and you can, like, hear some of the celebrities and stuff. And I know, was it Kevin Hart?
Yeah, he's like he names himself, like, MVP.
Yeah, and
he'll get, like, 2 points, if that.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious. But, I mean, he does it for the show, and makes it entertaining.
It's funny that we're like saying that we're not huge fans of them. However, I know you do too. Me and you watch all of these. We watch all the skills. We watch all the games, and it's fun. I'd like to go to them. I mean, we went to the NHL All-Star game. It was definitely a bit of a letdown, just from what I was expecting, at least.
Yeah.
I'd like to see there be more like competition somehow, and I feel like the only one, the NHL changes stuff, but some of the stuff that they change just doesn't make sense. I don't know, but the NBA, they seem to continuously try to change stuff. Like they change that, like the target score and stuff, and they just continue to evolve. NFL is going backwards, I feel like, and I get you don't want to get anybody hurt or anything, but it's like, dude, flag football, like,
and then they do like dodgeball. Too.
Exactly,
that's nowhere even really close to football.
Yeah, that's the one, and like the MLB's the most like a game I would say, because they're not like physical or anything like that, and you're still seeing the pitchers still do like their pitches, and they only pitch like an inning or two, but that the hitters are trying to hit, the fielders are trying to get it. So I would say overall the game, baseball's the best.
I agree.
But I think NFL's the worst for sure, and so I don't know.
If you had to rank every single All-Star game in, all right, this is the one that I most would like to see, like skills competition and the game total.
Like the weekend?
What's your least favorite to like most favorite?
It's tough for me because my favorite sport's basketball.
Yeah.
I watch all these sports. I watch the most basketball for sure. My least is NFL, just because I think it's honestly a waste of time. After going last year, just from like the experience we had, I would actually say NHL is my second least, and then I'd probably go MLB, and then NBA, just because I know the most about NBA and everything. I think like I said earlier, the home run derby would be fun and everything, like the actual game. Just baseball's a little slow for me. I'm not a massive fan of baseball. I mean, I will watch it, but it also could be because the Rockies are terrible, and like you get more excited when your teams are winning. So What about you?
I'm with you there on NFL. NFL would be my least, just because, like I said before, it doesn't even seem like the players really want to be there. So why should I?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then NHL, like mostly just because we've already been there, but I don't think I need to go back again, just because again it seems like the players don't really care to be there. They just rather have the week off.
They're really not even skating that hard.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. I'm kind of torn between MLB and NBA, but I think right now I'd got to put MLB as my number one.
Yeah.
Just because NBA is still like the skills competition just doesn't do it for me anymore.
It used to, like 5-6 years ago.
Growing up, I would love to watch. I would literally circle the date and
all of the skills.
I can't wait to watch this, and it was always so much fun. And I was super bummed that I didn't get to go to any of the events when it came to Denver.
Back in was it 05 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta give it to MLB because I love watching the celebrity game. That's one of my favorite events in all of the 4 All-Star things. And the game, I actually appreciate baseball, so I think I would appreciate seeing the top players just do their thing and
and it was here. It was in Colorado last year.
Yeah,
my wife got to go to the game. Megan got to go to the game.
Jealous.
Yeah, which it would have been fun. There is one more thing I want to talk about the All-Stars. Is you remember last year the skills competition, the breakaway competition for the hockey? It was more of like a stunt than an actual breakaway. Like they did one where it was like they reenacted Happy Gilmore. Like what is that? Like, dude, I want to see breakaways. That was one of my ones that I was looking forward to the most, and it was it was terrible.
And they hyped it up too. They would do all right, we're gonna do one shot at a time, and then
something else, then another shot.
But every single one, you're okay. What was that?
Yeah, I want to see Ovechkin do, and they can still do some crazy stuff, but I want to see what they can do with the puck and see if they can score.
I agree. Yeah, I was just all around kind of disappointed with.
Yeah, and we had fun, but it was just
and I think really the only way that NHL and all the other sports are going to get back to being entertaining and what they used to be is it's got to start with the players.
Yeah.
The players have got to act at least hey, I'm super pumped to be here, but
they got to remember what it was like when they were kids watching these games. And I think the hockey one could possibly be fun. It's up in Toronto this year, which I'm sure that Toronto fans are crazy, but if it's the same one, it's I could see myself just turning it off and stuff.
And then one more thing I want to talk about All-Stars is we've kind of talked about this off record or whatever, but I personally don't think fans should be that much in control of who
Yeah.
goes to the All-Star game and who doesn't. Because I don't know for sure how NHL does it. I'm assuming it's basically the same, but NBA, like, fans get 50% of the vote, and then players get 25, and then, like, press and everybody else gets, like, 25. Which
Even the press and me, like...
I'll just, like, I don't know. I see some of the players on there that it's like, all right, how the heck are you in this?
It always drives me crazy when there's an injured player.
Yeah.
Or they've played 2 or 3 games, and they're
Yeah.
the 3rd, 4th, 5th top getter. And it's
Yeah.
like, how is he an all-star? Because you like him? That's not why you should vote for him. You
Yeah.
should vote who you think the top, like, the all-star
Yeah,
players
it all
are.
becomes like a popularity. And then
Even
one
for
thing,
us with
like-
the Nuggets, you see it's like yesterday, I think it was Fridays, you get emails, hey, it's 3 times vote. And you said, all right, vote. Well, it automatically puts all the Nuggets up there. Which, hey, I'm for. I'd love them to get there.
Yeah.
Are you telling me, like, that all the Nuggets players are all-stars? No. But
No.
it's like, all right, how many for each team is the, like, people that are emailing or whatever, you just emailing every single day and getting all these votes or what? And it's, I agree with you.
I almost think the NBA does it purposely just to, like, measure who's fans of what teams.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they determine, okay, we have 1 billion Lakers fans across the world because Lakers fans got 1 billion All-Star votes.
And thankfully, it
like
ends
that.
up still being usually the top players.
Yeah.
But there's always that 1 or 2 that definitely should have gotten in, and the 1 or 2 that it's like, all right, yeah, when they're healthy, yeah, maybe they are an all-star top player, but they're not healthy or they're not playing great right now or anything. You know, it's just, I agree with you. I think the media can have that too, though, because a lot of the media, they're watching the teams that are on national TV. So if your team's not on national TV, you're probably not going to get votes from those guys. And
it all comes down to, like, certain teams have more of a fan base too. Like, Lakers will always have a bigger fan base than, like, Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know how to fix it, but I would like to see something fixed.
I think, like, I don't know. I feel like they'd have to put, like, a cutoff of, hey, you have to average this amount of points or this amount of rebounds or something like that.
I do like how the
even be
NBA is
able to
starting.
vote for.
Well, that's kind of like what the NBA is doing with, like, the awards at the end too.
Yeah.
They're putting, like, those minimum games in and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that could.
I don't know. Maybe they'll fix it, but
Yeah.
it just
Let us know what
irritates
you
me.
guys think, though, too, like, about all the All-Star stuff, and maybe, like, if you guys have an idea what they could do, and if they do, we'll write into the NBA, NHL,
Yeah.
MLB, NFL. We'll write in from the
We'll
dingers,
start, like,
you know?
a petition.
Exactly. So, let's take a break here. Hear from our sponsor, Colorado Hat Company. Definitely go check them out, but let's hear from them right now.
Uh-oh, they're stuck in a lurch. Come on down to Colorado Hat and help them clear out their merch. Colorado Hat Company, soon to be vacating the Colorado Mills Mall. Deals, deals, deals. Everything must go. Tell them the dinger sent ya.
All right, we're back, guys. That was a word from our sponsor, Colorado Hat Company. They only have about a week and a half left over at the Mills Mall, so definitely go check them out before it's too late.
Yep, gotta get in there. I got my hat from there. I get all my hats from there. I'm gonna be super sad when they leave, but
For sure. We're going to talk about some of the NFL games from last week, some of the playoffs. We'd like to talk a little bit about this week. However, we're recording. There's a game being played currently as we're recording, so we won't be able to talk too much about this week. But last week, we got a few things right, a few things extremely wrong.
yeah,
It
wasn't like the greatest week for either of us. I went 3 for 6. So 50%. I think, Tim, you went 2 for 6. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and just it's not even like the games that we picked. It's just some of the stuff we said. Like,
yeah.
So, first game was Cleveland at Houston. Houston just demolished them.
Dude.
From the beginning. It was 45
CJ
to
Stroud,
14.
man. I was telling you. And then I talked about Joe Flacco.
Oh, my gosh. I'm watching this game.
Yep.
And me and Kyle didn't watch this game together. I can't remember why. But
I think I was sick.
Was it that or working or something? I don't know.
Something.
But I remember looking over to Megan, my wife, and I was like, Kyle got this perfectly. Like, Flacco's struggling, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I even said, people don't listen to him, and it's just like, man, that was
I hope
tough.
you guys did listen to me, because I had that script just on point.
It's funny because last week I said I want Houston to win.
Yep.
I didn't think they were going to win this like handily, especially how Cleveland was playing. But I hope Houston can keep going.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
don't know.
The sky's the limit for them. You got a young QB and a young team that they're just playing out of their shoes right now.
And they don't have anything
really
to lose.
It's really fun to watch.
Yep.
I mean, it would
Nico
be like
Collins too.
It would be kind of crazy, like if they do take down the Ravens, because me and you both were like, yeah, the Ravens are clear like Super Bowl favorites, like so that would be like really crazy. But I mean, yeah, that would be sweet. But
the sports world would go wild if Houston can beat Baltimore, and I'm for it. You know, I mean, even though we picked Baltimore, let's go. You know,
that would be something that I'd love to be wrong about. But,
yeah. Next one we had was Miami and Kansas City.
Yeah,
Kansas City ended up winning 26-7. It wasn't the prettiest. Kansas City completely outplayed Miami.
Yeah, it was really just like, I think the weather played a huge factor in it.
I'm glad I switched that one.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I was like completely right on the Houston game, and then the very next game, Miami and Kansas City, I was like, man, Tim was completely right.
Yeah.
That was the only game of the 6 that I was like, all right, I probably should have thought about it a little bit more and switched with Tim once. But oh well.
I was picking Miami at first too, but then we started talking about it and just started talking about some of the players, and then with it being how cold it was, and, you know, KC, they come to show in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Like for them, I feel like it doesn't really matter what they do.
It would have been interesting if Miami was the home team and the game was in Miami, how much of a difference that would be. But
Miami had some pretty key injuries too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. The big upset, and I'm saying this is a huge upset. Green Bay at Dallas. Dallas was undefeated at home all during the regular season. A lot of people thought this was the year they were making to the Super Bowl at least, or at least the conference championship or something. And Green Bay, honestly, the score, it was 48-32. The score was closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
And Dallas had a chance to bring it within a touchdown.
It did.
With like a minute left, but they couldn't get it done. But that game, man, we should have, just knowing Dallas's track record, and we talked about them a little bit earlier in this episode, but knowing their track record, should we have thought about it a little bit more?
It is kind of like, I was thinking, it is kind of surprising that not either of us kind of thought I'll take the shot and go with the Packers, but I don't know.
I said the Packers shouldn't even have made it to the playoffs. Yeah, they didn't even deserve to be there. So I was wrong on that too. Sorry, Packers fans.
Yeah,
I still don't know if they should have been there, but
I don't know. But now they legit might have a chance. I don't know. Now they play the 49ers, but I don't know. I don't want to write them off anymore.
Exactly, because to me, I'm like, 49ers exactly how I said Dallas.
Exactly.
There's no way they can stop with Christian McCaffrey and how the 49ers are playing just as a whole. They're going to get demolished. But like you said,
who knows?
I almost don't want to say it because it's like, man, what if Green Bay goes into San Fran and wins?
Yeah,
that would be
nuts.
2 crazy upsets. And in the AFC now, you got Tampa Bay, Detroit, San Fran, and Green Bay.
Yeah.
San Fran has to be clear favorite. Yeah. Not clear cut favorite. Yeah. And it should almost, I don't want to say easy, but it should almost be easy for them to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
just looking at those, I'm not saying these teams are bad, but I don't think they're at the San Fran
I bet
level.
you if you went into the San Francisco locker room and said, hey, you guys have to beat either Detroit, Green Bay, or the Buccaneers, and that's it, they're going to be like, all right, you're lying. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, that's what you have to. You have to beat two of the three teams to make it to the Super Bowl. They got to be looking pretty, but hopefully, the one thing with them, hopefully they just don't overlook these teams, and I think that's part of what Dallas did almost.
I think so.
Because they just CeeDee Lamb was not really like himself. Dak Prescott was throwing some interceptions. They got a pick six, and it was just their defense. Which has been amazing all year.
They just let Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones does that all the time when going to play in Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, they were highlighting that a ton. Like, Aaron Jones just loves playing in Dallas because he always just goes off. And like, how do you let that happen? Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. But fourth game we had was the Los Angeles Rams and Detroit Lions. This was the best game
by far
of the six.
I wish this game was just played 6 times.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we said at the end, this is going to come down to the last couple minutes, and
it did.
24-23. It was just, and you picked Detroit, I picked the Rams. Up until like until Detroit finally like got that first down, I was like, I don't know how this game's going to end. Just the way it was playing and stuff.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, the storylines that they had was great with Stafford coming back.
Goff too.
And then Goff against his old team. Like, and then they kept on showing Eminem in the stands, and I just loved it. Like,
I heard something that he was like, "Give me some pads, I want to play."
Yeah, it was just like it was so much fun. I'm not even a Detroit fan. I do have some friends that are Lions fans, but it's just like you feel for them. Like,
they were 0-16 a few years ago. Like you said, you almost feel for them a little bit.
Now Michigan, like, they just won the national championship in college. Like, Detroit is.
I didn't even think about that.
So it's like, man, Michigan is on top now. So
I have a hard time rooting for Detroit at any time, and it's not because of the Lions or Pistons or anything. It's because of the Red Wings. We're from Colorado. Growing up, Avs, Red Wings, huge. And Notre Dame, I'm a Notre Dame fan. Big rival with Michigan as well.
Yep. I
have a hard time rooting for any Detroit team. But part of me I want them to win.
Just, like I said, it's so cool. Like, haven't won a NFL like playoff game in so long since, what was it, like 91 or 95?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yep.
But it's like,
and now they have a second one. They have a second home game.
They get to play another home game. Like, you just love it. Yep. You love to see it. And I'm super excited for all Detroit fans. It's kind of like fun jumping on the bandwagon a little bit, but and kind of being a Lions fan for
a couple of weeks or something. Yep.
But
it helps to. I don't have anything against the Rams, but it helps when they play somebody that you don't want them to win to.
Yeah.
But another game we had was Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Pittsburgh was in this game. It wasn't like it was that out. I wish TJ Watt would have played. Because they're, I think, now 1-11 in his career when he hasn't played. And I don't know if it would have changed the outcome. I just think it could have been closer. It could have been better. And I know we picked Buffalo last week, both of us. After we picked, I was re-listening and just rethinking about it until that game was played. Especially, it got moved a couple days. I was like, man, this could give Pittsburgh a chance because there's going to probably be a lot of running as well, and I think Pittsburgh probably has the better running, like offense.
Especially like Najee Harris going into that, I think he was top 5 in rushing yards over the last
he's definitely been picking up, and then they had Warren as well. They got both of them, and it's like a 1-2 punch. And so I was thinking that Pittsburgh actually might have had a chance, but Josh Allen was just too much. He had, what was that, a 59-yard touchdown?
I think that play was very important. That's a demoralizing play.
Well, with TJ Watt, does that happen?
Probably not.
Exactly. So that's where you're putting more pressure on him, possibly getting him to throw it or fumble or something. It's interesting, But Buffalo ended up coming out, and so we'll see how they do. Last game was kind of an upset as well, especially how this game went. It was the Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tampa just demolished them. It was 32-9. Baker.
Yeah,
holy cow.
I mean, he had a career year this year, and just watching the game, they asked him to come in and be a top 10 quarterback for little to no money just because they couldn't afford it. They're still paying Tom Brady money, and it was great, but I still gotta think that the Eagles just, I don't know what happened, but they just almost went into the game thinking well, we already lost.
Yeah,
It's
they're not the same
their
team
mentality
as they were.
wasn't there. AJ Brown being out also was a huge loss. That's your number one wide receiver, but yeah, it almost just seemed like they already assumed we're gonna lose. Yeah, and it's with all the missed tackles, too. It's
each one of those just keeps piling up.
Yeah,
and it gets
just
in your head.
So I don't know what's the change now. I feel like you could have talks about, hey, is Sirianni, Philly's coach, gonna get fired?
I know there's been rumors.
A game like that and a performance like that, hey, if you can't get your team snap back and mentally straight after a losing skid like that, then what's up? What's going on in that locker room over the past 6-7 weeks? That
it'll be interesting to see too, because I don't think it's technically 100% came out, but pretty much Jason Kelsey's going to retire. He's the center for the Eagles, and the relationship between the center and the QB is huge. So is that going to kind of mess up with Jalen Hurts a little bit? Yeah. I don't know. Are they going to be able to do the tush push? Because I bet you not every center is going to be able to do that. And Jason Kelsey,
especially there's talks about making the tush push illegal next year.
Exactly.
So
it'll be interesting to see if that how much that affects it.
Yeah.
I think it will affect some, just because even just the timing, and I don't know how many years they've been together, but it's been a few years for sure.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a pitcher and a catcher, I feel almost in baseball.
Jason Kelsey, he's the best center in the league, one of the best linemen in the league.
Yep.
And
just taking that off, you got an all-pro. All-pro.
Yeah, his position is a lot of the time underrated, and nobody really thinks about the center. But yeah. It's going to be interesting, and just what the heck is going on in Eagles locker room right now? What happened?
I kind of like it because it's the same kind of thing with me for Philly, and that's been more recent because of the Nuggets and the 76ers. And I think the media is almost getting me into it, Jokic and Embiid and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we care about it more than Jokic, but I actually kind of like that Philly lost just because. Yeah, those guys, they don't need something else.
Exactly.
I wish it was to Denver, but but well.
I don't know.
We're gonna pick these games this week. We're gonna pick the 2 NFL games tomorrow. We can't pick the ones today, obviously, but tomorrow we're gonna go Tampa Bay at Detroit, and this is a tough one for me.
Yeah,
I want to go Detroit. But the way Baker played last week and the way he's been playing the last few weeks, I think they have a chance. However, I think Detroit is just on such a high right now. They're pumped. Their coach is pumped. Goff is playing great. St. Brown is playing great. I think Detroit's going to win this, especially being at home. Eminem's going to get out there and do something. He's going to be on the sideline and maybe kick an
Pumping up the
onside kick or
crowd.
something just
I don't know.
because. I don't know. But I'm going to go Detroit on this one.
Yeah, I mean, this game was tough for me, too, because I think the Buccaneers are exactly like Houston, where they got nothing to lose. They're playing for their teammates, and, yeah, they're just playing out of their shoes right now, and they're on a huge, like, winning streak, and I think they've won now 6 of their last 7.
With you saying that they have nothing to lose, too, it's kind of like both teams really don't.
Yeah.
Because Detroit finally won a playoff game, so all the pressure's off. Tampa Bay, some people didn't even think they were going to get there and stuff. And the pressure's off. So this is a dogfight, this game.
Yeah. The thing I fear about Detroit is I almost think that a big reason why they did beat the Rams is because they had that pressure of, we got to win a playoff game. It's been too long. So now that they have, is
Did
that
they
pressure
take a deep breath, kind of?
Is it going to, like, rush to them and be like, man, we finally won a playoff game? Like,
that's a good point.
But, yeah, I'm going to pick Detroit as well. I think they got the personality, they got the swagger, they got the defense, they got the offense. Like, it's tough for me to go against Detroit. I've kind of hopped on the bandwagon.
And you've been like that all the year, honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like. You had St. Brown for your wide receiver, too, so I think that helped you.
Yep.
But I think all year you've kind of, like, talked about Detroit.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Detroit as well.
I think it's going to be – this, I think, is going to be the best game of the week, too, just because I think it could be a 24-23 game or something.
Yep.
I think the other games will be better than last week's, but this could be a really good, like, classic game for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Another NFL game we got tomorrow is Kansas City Chiefs at Buffalo Bills. And you go ahead. I'll do this one. I'll let you go first on the last one just because I already know what I'm going to pick. But so we got the Kansas City Chiefs at Buffalo Bills. They both are used to playing in the cold. Kansas City is traveling to Buffalo, though. These teams, the Chiefs, like we've talked about in episodes past, they're not the same Chiefs as they have been. However, you can't count them out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's been a couple other times that I was like, they're not going to do anything, and then they make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl or whatever, you know. But I think Josh Allen is playing very good right now. I think he's playing great. I don't think Mahomes is playing as good as he can, and I definitely think Travis Kelce, if they can shut him down, which he's not been having a year like a Kelce year, like a Travis Kelce year. I think if the Bills can shut him down, and I think it's supposed to be a little cold still. I don't think it's going to be like crazy snow or crazy cold, but I think it's going to be like cold, and I feel like that definitely makes it harder on receivers for sure. I think the Bills are going to end up winning this. I think they're going to get to the conference championship. I think this could be also a very good game, though, as well.
I think, I mean, this is so tough because you can't, like, really count out the Chiefs. And do you know, like, is this Mahomes' first away playoff game? I can't think of the last time he was away. Because usually
I'm trying to think.
They win their division and they're like the 1 or 2 seed.
I think didn't they go into Cincinnati once maybe?
It might have been. Like, I don't know what year that was. If that
he
was
hasn't played very many away.
But yeah, he hasn't played that many.
Games. If, like you said, it could be his first. I honestly don't know.
Play that and do it. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I hate it because I'm a Broncos fan.
I thought you would go Buffalo.
I think I'm gonna go the Chiefs. I just think. I mean, I don't want to count out the reigning Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
But I think Josh Allen is more prone to mistakes than Mahomes kind of is, maybe. But I don't know. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
You sure? I didn't see that coming.
I don't know. I might regret it.
Especially after last week when you picked Miami to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I know. I'm all over the place.
Well, and one of your players this week is for Buffalo.
I don't know. I might change that up too. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not
going to say that who you were saying then because I was thinking you were going to pick one of them. So that really surprises me. But we'll see. You know, I mean, hopefully I can gain one more on you. You tied it up last week, so hopefully I can gain one. But next one, I know you have a tough one, so I'm making you go first on this one because I already know who I'm picking. This is women's college basketball. Number 7 Kansas. Number 7 Kansas State versus number 12 Baylor, and it's at Baylor. This is on Monday night. What do you think?
Yeah, like Tim said, I suck at college basketball. I love when Tim picks first because I can just kind of piggyback off him and it'd be okay. But I think I'm gonna go Kansas State.
Is this because of Steve? You have a friend, Steve.
Partly, it partly is, but I mean, I did look at like both their teams a little bit before. I did a little bit of research, so I'm not coming in super like I don't know blind, but I think Kansas State. I think they can win.
So I'm gonna say something. I don't even know if you know this, so maybe this is cheating. I don't know. Maybe you'll want to change. I'll let you change.
No, I'll stick to it.
So I originally was gonna pick Kansas State. The way they were playing, I was gonna pick them. However, their top player, their center, HOU CLE, is out 4 weeks with an ankle injury. She just had surgery. She had surgery on Friday. She averages 19.8 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 2.7 blocks per game, which is great stats.
Yeah, that's a killer.
So maybe I should have said this before. Maybe I am cheating.
Nah.
Okay, did you know that?
I think I did see that.
Okay, so. It was pretty major news, so I wasn't sure if you'd seen it or not. But she does lead the team in points, rebounds, steals, blocks, and field goal percentage. That's almost like losing Jokic, honestly.
Yeah.
And they do have a couple of their other players aren't bad, but she's just so up there. She's just such a badass player. She's so good. They got Serena Sundell. She averages 10.6 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4.8 assists. So she's a guard. They got another guard, Gabby Gregory, 9 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 3.7 assists. However, if they can step up, Baylor can win. Kansas State can win this game. They have to step up. However, on Baylor's side, they have 7 players that average over 9 points per game. Which, like I just said, there's 3 players on K-State that average 9 points. So they spread it out a lot. Also, they have 3 players that average over 7 rebounds per game. When you take the center out of K-State, you already have 3 people that are 3 girls that are doing 7
That is
rebounds
true.
per game. And so that's huge. Some of their players, Sarah Andrews, she's a beast. Drayuna Edwards, and I might be kind of botching these names a little bit, but sorry if I do. But then the other one is Dariana Little Page Bugs. That's her name, you know.
Love it.
And it is hyphen. It's Little Page dash Bugs hyphen Bugs. But I gotta go Baylor. Just with HOU CLE out, I just don't see how K-State can just rebound. Honestly, their rebounding is going to be. She's going to be so missed in that, especially because Baylor is going for those boards, and they have so many players. It's not just 1 or 2 players, but they have, like I said, 7 players that average over 9 points per game, 3 that average over 7 rebounds per game. So I got to go Baylor. I think it could still be a good game. Unfortunately, though, I do think Baylor is going to probably win this one by double digits now with her out. I really wish she was in there because I think it'd be completely different. But I do think Baylor's going to win that one. So
I will say,
do you want to switch?
For the listeners, you guys should probably go Baylor.
If you want to switch after I've said this,
I mean, if you let me, I'll switch.
If you can. It's totally up to you.
But
you can pick K-State, you can pick Baylor. I know a lot more about college, women's college and men's college basketball than you, so you can make your pick now.
With that being said, I'd probably go Baylor.
All right.
Just because, like you said, I think they're going to have a big problem rebounding. Mm-hmm. But, man, I would love if K-State does win. But
it would be huge. Yeah, it'd be huge. So we'll see. But all right, so you pick Baylor then. We'll both pick Baylor. And I kind of thought you were going to pick K-State, and so that's kind of why I wanted you to pick, and then just say all this stuff.
Yeah, just make me look stupid.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, you made me look stupid with Flacco last week, so I need to make it up. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just – this game could go completely different.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe now we'll just both be wrong.
No, but – all right, let's hear your 2 players.
All right, my 2 players, I was going to go Josh Allen, but, I mean, sitting here thinking about it, I actually think I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes instead.
Interesting.
So the reason being is I'm kind of iffy on Josh Allen. I think he is more prone to mistakes, so I could easily see him throwing 1-2 picks today. And, yeah, I just haven't seen enough proof from Buffalo yet. So I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes. He's been in situations like this before, and he just always can find a way to get his receivers the ball. Yeah, it's going to be cold. Yeah, it's going to be tough to catch, but, hey, he'll find a way.
He finds ways to win and stuff, especially in the playoffs.
So
there's a reason why they've been to a few Super Bowls, you know.
He's my first player that I'm going to watch. And then my second one is going to be Jamal Murray.
Woo! Blue Arrow!
Yep. I think he should be an all-star this year. Yeah, he missed 14 games with a hamstring issue. Like, that hurt, and I think that's really the only reason why he's not
at least in consideration
all-star. But, I mean, watching him play against Boston last night at 35 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, like,
played great. And Boston's one of the top defensive teams.
Yeah, he's really doing it all, and he's probably on – Drew Holiday was probably on him most of the game. Like, he's a lockdown defender. So I think Jamal Murray is often underrated. He's often overlooked. And I just think, like, time and time again, he's got such a good mentality coming into the game. I think he deserves the credit. He deserves to be looked at.
I just wish he was in consideration on the All-Star game.
And this is a big, like, road trip for Denver. They started with Philly, boo Philly. Got a big win against Boston. Now I think we play the Pacers.
I think we go Washington, Pacers, Knicks.
Yeah.
I think it's the way.
Yeah, those are next like 3. Washington should be an easy game, but Pacers in Indiana with Halliburton and now Siakam back. Like,
and Turner plays Jokic pretty good. He plays him all the way out to the 3. He plays him tough.
So it's like I think those will be big games. But yeah, so those are my 2 players. But
definitely,
yeah, we're kind of running out of time. So
we'll see how those players do. You've been pretty on the last
usually,
So, but that's all we got. Definitely let us know. We'll try to do better next week, of course. We always try to get better. Go follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, all those. We definitely have been doing some shorts on YouTube and Instagram, so go check those out. Let us know what you think. But that's all we got for this week. So
yeah, it's been a fun one. Hopefully everybody has a good week.
Exactly. And we'll see you guys later. See you later, alligators.
All right.
Peace.